All right, today we're going to talk a little bit about neurons, and we are the pistachios. We're going to start out with an overview of the nervous system. The nervous system is a complex collection of nerves and neurons that transmit signals between all parts of the body. There are two divisions: the central nervous system, which includes your brain and your spinal cord, and your peripheral nervous system, which is all the nerves outside. Next, we'll talk about the peripheral nervous system in a little bit more depth. There are two divisions that are antagonistic to each other: the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. The parasympathetic is your rest and digest systems, which is active during periods of rest and normal body activity. Next, you have your sympathetic system, which is your fight and flight response. This is most active during periods of high stress or physical activity. Next, we'll talk a little bit about neurons, which are specialized cells of the nervous system. They do not divide, and they have a very high metabolic rate. There are three types of neurons: afferent neurons, efferent neurons, and interneurons. Afferent neurons relay signals to the central nervous system from sensory cells, and efferent neurons relay signals from the central nervous system to motor cells. Interneurons integrate the two, completing the circuit. Next, we'll go into a little bit of neuron structure. Starting out, you can see the diagram below shows the soma, which is the cell body. Next, dendrites bring messages into the neuron. The axon is the nerve fiber that sends information to other neurons. The terminal is the branched end of the axon. The myelin sheath insulates the neuron, allowing for quick and efficient transmission of electrical impulses. And this is made up of Schwann cells. And then a synapse is the junction between an axon terminal and the cell body of another neuron. Now we'll go into excitation and transmission. Neurons receive a signal through the dendrites, and then a threshold is reached where excitatory cells signals outnumber the inhibitory signals. Next, neurons fire the action potentials, which is the all or none response. An action potential is an impulse that is passed along a membrane of a neuron. Depolarization of the cell occurs, and sodium ions rush in. Next, the action potential travels down the axon terminal. Finally, the axon terminal releases neurotransmitters into the synapse, where they bind to receptors on the next neuron. Neurons are very important. So what would happen if your neurons aren't functioning properly? Non-functioning neurons, or abnormal neuron death, can result in a variety of diseases such as Parkinson's, Huntington's, or Alzheimer's. Abnormal neurotransmitter levels or neuronal electrical signaling can lead to strokes or seizures. Faulty neuronal structure or proteins can lead to diseases such as congenital insensitivity to pain. We're going to go in depth now on congenital insensitivity to pain. This is a condition that inhibits the ability to perceive physical pain. It's caused by a mutation in the SCN9A gene. This mutation makes the alpha subunits unable to function, so they cannot be incorporated into the NAV 1.7 channels. As a result, these channels are not formed, and the absence of these channels impairs transmission of pain signals. The disease is quite rare, and 20 cases have only been diagnosed worldwide. It is very hard to diagnose because many health professionals aren't familiar with the condition. This disease takes many visits to figure out. Patients suffering from the disease may bite their own fingers, causing severe lesions, or even scratch their eyes, severely damaging them, making blindness a common accidental result. As you can see in the photo taken from a documentary on this disease, goggles are often worn by young patients to protect their eyes. This documentary is very informative, so I'd recommend it to anyone who wants to learn more. It is called A Life Without Pain. Now we'll have a few quiz questions. We'll start out with, what are the two divisions of the nervous system? The second question, what are three types of neurons? And finally, what mutation results in congenital insensitivity to pain? You can pause if you don't want to hear the answers right away. The answers to the questions are, the first one is the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The second question, the answer would be the afferent, efferent, and interneurons. And the mutation that causes this disease is the SCN9A gene mutation. Here are some of our citations. Thank you for watching.